straight into what we know we discussed today. I think I've been in the just like few words that was said about me, my person, or probably my profile. I've been in the educational sector field for a period of few years, and within this period I think I've gathered some experience, and I also have understudied some persons. I've been able to meet with people. I've also been able to hear people talk. I wasn't growing up, I wasn't as talkative as I used to be now, but by virtue of people I met and by virtue of what I do, of course there's no way you take great talking from a teacher, and there's no way not to talk of an instructor. So I'm happy that is where it has landed me. So part of what I've learned, part of what I've observed among people, that's actually what motivated me to start talking to people as it concerns what I'm to present today. It has to do with character in education. I've met with people, probably young people who just finished their high school. I've also seen some vacuum. I've also met with people who just finished their degree, and I still was able to spot out some of those vacuums. And enough reason why I feel it became so necessary to start speaking to both parents, caretakers, as well as the students. And whenever I stand to talk, I recently, a few weeks back, I was speaking with the graduating set of secondary schools from within the community. And whenever I stand before them, I could just see some of those things, those vacuums that actually motivated me to start talking about character in education. And without them saying anything, I could see some of those things. And whenever I get this drive more to make sure I pass this information across to them. And the best time for these people to get this, probably, I won't say at that point is even late, but the best time is for us to get them when they are much more earlier. Most of us here, we are parents, we are guardians, we have people around us, children around us. I think God gives us children. If we are direct parents to them, yes, we are just caretakers. And if you're not direct parents to them also, you still have a part to play. Because if you feel that they are not your children and you let them, tomorrow you have yours or you have yours around, they will still have influence over those yours you feel you want to give the better advice and better guide. So all of this actually motivated me to start talking about why we need to, outside the place of learning, outside the place of education, some of the loopholes I saw were this character of a thing. And so today we caption this parents' involvement in character education. Character education, like we said, education is all about learning is going to school, and schooling is probably you learn how to read, you learn how to write, you learn how to solve problems, theoretically maybe. But to go further, education is something that has to do with not just solving theoretical problems, but there are issues around us, how those values, personal values, how virtues should translate to how we live, how we relate to people. I've seen people also who believe that the more, there's this thing I always told students, young people when I meet them, that the higher you go, the more humble you should be. The higher you go, the more humble you should be. But I've seen some that even after their first degree, it's as if they've not even gone through the walls of school. Some of them still see themselves like children that needs to be tutored. Now the society, one thing we drive so much on is results. We're so oriented with results, competition. And if we continue like that, we find out that we're not building a society, a stable society. A stable society is that society that is built on character in learning, where you begin to see those virtues, integrity, fairness. People have respect for people, have respect for some other person's property. At the cause of safety, we were being taught that whatever you want to do, consider the safety of those that might be affected by what you do. The same thing also applies in character. Whatsoever actions you want to take, consider how it affects the next person. We've seen people that does things and feel like they only exist. But it shouldn't be so. So some of those virtues, those common key values, respect for people, commitment to community service. We see people today vandalize community or government property because they feel it has no business with them. No, we should discourage such. And like I say, the best, in fact, the first number one role model every child will have is the parents, the guidance, those that are around them. So it's better we start teaching them those core values. A few days ago, I was speaking with someone, and what he told me, he said, I could remember what my parents taught us. He was referring to himself and his siblings. This is someone that is far older than me. But he could still recall those things. You find out that those things, those values that were being given right from when we were small, when we were growing up, they tend to stay with us because as we grow, their influence is around. If you're never to build that strong influence in a child, if you're never to build that strong influence, you find out that it's difficult for anyone to come and tell them a different story. I've seen a child who come to the house and he tell you say, please, uncle, help me solve this problem. And you solve it because probably you know other solutions to solve maybe mathematical problem. And the child will tell you that this is not how my uncle or my auntie in school used to do it. You say, go and submit it. If your uncle fails you, come back. To some persons, you say, okay, how does the auntie teach you? You say, okay, it must be that way. Me, I don't believe that there's one way to solving problems. I believe that in as much as there is an analytical study, there's a way you look around things and find a solution to it. It must not be one way. So, whenever I see people say, they're scared of mathematics, I say mathematics is, it must not be on high level, but at least you must be a friend to mathematics. If I'm here today, okay, when we came, someone was talking about hold up along. If I'm thinking of passing through that route and there's another option, I will consider, at that point where I'm thinking of the best route to take, I'm calculating, I'm analyzing. So, what we're saying is there are some of these values that we need to revive. If we allow these people, if we allow these children grow, they lose these values, they lost them. They are just after competition. Let's go and patch the degrees. But there are core values that we need to make sure they incorporate in their education. There are core values they need to incorporate in their education. A popular writer, like Martin Luther King, he said the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. And he rounded up by saying that intelligence plus character is the true goal of education. So if you've gone through the world of schools and you cannot be able to demonstrate some of these core values, it means such person has just gone to school. This person has gone to school without being educated. That's why I say school can teach you how to write, can teach you how to read. But being educated teaches you how to solve problems, teaches you how to relate with people. How can you say, I was speaking with someone, I told us already, I make a lot of engagement. I was speaking with someone and the person said she had a job offer. And this job offer was going to pay something better than what she was doing. But the problem with that is she had somebody she cannot work with. That is just it. This job will pay her almost more than 25% in addition to what she's receiving. And the route for growth is there. And I asked, do you really like the job? Is there any passion for you wanting to move? She said yes, but just one problem. How to work with just an individual. I said, that's not enough reason. If you say there is no job satisfaction with that, it's okay. But the fact that it's just an individual. So we need to learn how to interact with people. We need to learn how to be at peace with people. Those are the core values. Those are part of what we need to incorporate with people. Not because I've gone through the world of schools and nobody is close to me. I passed my degree. Now there's a story I will share. There's a lady, she put up a placard and she finished her first degree in mass communication, and then she went further to do her master's. And after that, in this country, there was no job. So all she did was she put up a placard demanding for employment. Of course, that was brave of her. With that alone, she came to learn that people got to know about her and all that. But we begin to ask ourselves, whatever that must have prompted her to, after her first degree, to have gone through or to proceed into her master's, probably she wants to increase her bargaining strength, because one thing education does for us is to increase our bargaining strength. Whenever you increase your level of education, you're trying to add more words to yourself. So for her to have gone into doing her master's and all that, probably she wants something better. But after all this, she was still putting up a placard asking for a job. Now, if we are to summarize that, we will probably say that this person has only gone to school. This person has gone to school because if probably you're educated with that level, you should be able to, you should know how to mix up with the society. You should know how to start up something for yourself. I know it's very easy for some parents to say, even from your alawi, you can even save to do business. But I'm not here to motivate anybody. But yeah, people can always say those, and it has worked for people too. But for that level of education, and someone is still carrying